I'll do it.
No, I'll do it.
My way's better.
There's only one thing left to do.
Pork belly face off.
Pork belly face off.
They faced off, face to face.
Okay, well, the first thing we have to do is cut this belly in half. It's 7 pounds total, so each half is going to be around 3.5 pounds. Zack is going to do his prep first the traditional way, by cubing it up ahead of time, and he's going to make the cubes rather large at around 3 inches or so. For flavoring, Zack is going with a bit of olive oil as a binder, and then a combination of rubs. The first one is Fiesta Pork Rub, made right here in Texas. The pork rub is basically paprika, chili pepper, garlic, onion, and just a hint of salt and brown sugar. We use a lot of Fiesta products because they're pretty straightforward and give you a no-nonsense rub that isn't over-the-top salty or sweet. The second rub he's using is Jimbo's Spice Rub Ultimate Meat Rub. This was a gift from my sister, and it's made in Maine. This rub is a bit more chunky with bits of garlic and Italian seasoning, very much like a Montreal seasoning. If you're interested in either of these rubs, I'll leave links in the description for you. Once everything is well blended, Zack moves his cubes to 2 foil racks I picked up at the dollar store. This will just make it a bit easier to move the cubes in and out of the smoker. For my half of the belly, I'm going to leave it intact and not cube it up. I'm going with Asian flavors on my pork belly. My rub consists of 2 tablespoons of Chinese 5-spice, 1 tablespoon each of salt and pepper and brown sugar, and a teaspoon each of red curry powder, garlic powder, and ginger powder. First, I'm going to lay down a binder of soy sauce and then generously lay the rub down on both sides. You can really substitute any of these spices or even make your own Chinese 5-spice if you want. Now, we were in the process of re-seasoning the Dyna-Glo, and we also added a smokestack mod when we decided to have this throwdown. You can catch that video at the top right of your screen now, or check the link in the description. Once the coals in the firebox started to ash over, we were ready to add the pork belly. We had some difficulty with Zack's as we could not quite fit both trays on one rack. Now, I know with all the racks Dyna has, we could have just added another one, but for some reason we decided to just bend the foil sheets instead. The wood we used is sweet apple from Gourmet Wood Products. Usually we go with B&B and I cut it to fit, but this product is great because it fits right in Dyna's firebox with no extra splitting. Now, the only place I've been able to find it so far is Academy Sports, but it is reasonably priced. What I'm doing here is adding a probe to monitor the smoke temp. Dyna's thermometer is okay, but this way I can also monitor the temp remotely so I can react to temperature swings much quicker. Of course, you may have to stoke your fire on occasion. I'm using this handy little campfire blower from Zippo. Now, I have to stop and say I'm not sponsored by any of these products. I just let you know what I'm using and share a link in the description from where I picked it up, just in case you're interested. And I have to say a word about this new stack I put in. I love it. It's just a drum smoker stack, but it lets more air through Dyna, and it's so much better at controlling the temp. Plus, I can keep the firebox completely closed now if I want. And if the temp gets away from me, I can easily adjust it now, whereas the original had really no effect. I still have to work on getting cleaner smoke, but this is a great start. Okay, back to the battle. While the pork belly is smoking, I'm going to prep my Asian style sauce for later. To a pot, I add a 1/4 cup of traditional or low salt soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of oyster sauce, I prefer the Lady in the Boat one, a 1/4 cup of sweet chili sauce, I prefer May Ploy, 1 tablespoon of sriracha, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, and you can use any vinegar really. And this is optional, but a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. I think it gives it a nice Asian vibe. However, I don't recommend the one I'm using here. Its flavor is pretty bland. Finally, add about a tablespoon of shredded ginger. Now, if you don't have fresh ginger, then probably a teaspoon of powdered ginger will be fine as well. Mix it well together and adjust to your taste. Then bring it to a boil. Turn the heat to low and add a slurry of a teaspoon or so of cornstarch and a tablespoon of water. This will thicken it up. And you're going to want to simmer for another 5 or 10 minutes. Now back to Dyna. After 3 hours of smoking the pork belly, it's ready to remove and go into the next step of glazing.
Woo!
For his more traditional glaze, Zack is dropping about 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter into a foil pan. A good squeeze of honey, and then sprinkling with brown sugar. He never measures anything, so your guess is as good as mine. Then just cover tightly with tin foil. For my glaze, I have to cube up my pork belly first, and I'm going to go with smaller cubes, about half the size of Zack's, or 1.5 to 2 inch. Then into a foil pan, I add 4 tablespoons of cut up unsalted butter. Then my sauce. Mix it all up and cover tightly with tin foil. Now, after something is smoked, I generally see no reason to waste charcoal or wood any longer, and I usually finish it in the oven. I never do this with brisket, of course, that would be a sacrilege, but pork I have no problem with. Whatever vessel you choose, set it to 260 degrees Fahrenheit. After an hour, check the temp of your pork belly. If you're around 175 to 180, you're ready to finish. Remove the foil, add more sauce if you want, and give everything a toss. Then continue cooking uncovered at 275 degrees now for another 30 minutes. You want everything to be well caramelized and the internal temp of the pork belly to reach 195 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Your finished pork belly should look something like this. Let's eat. Let me hold this up to the camera. So that's the one I did. Not a whole lot of bark on it. Just on the one side. And this is the one that Zack did. And you can see this thing all the way around. Good amount of bark, so a lot more bark on his, using the rub and chopping it ahead of time. Okay, so let me do a taste test here. Mine has good flavor. I can really taste the ginger and the spices, the soy sauce, yeah, the Asian barbecue sauce I made. Now I'm going to try Zack's. It's a little more chewier.
I would say yours are more like a nice side treat appetizer. I like a little bit more of the sweetness to it. And I would say Zack's is more like barbecue meal type because they're bigger pieces, a little bit more like indicative, like a brisket or something like that. So one kind of like a snack, I could be popping those little ones as a nice treat. And the other ones are more filling and a little bit more like barbecue.
One of the differences I noticed is that mine were a lot softer, and that's because I did the whole piece and I didn't cut it until we sauced it and put it in the oven. Yeah. He cut his in the beginning, and I think that cooked a little faster. So probably should have taken his out earlier. You know, I think they would have cooked.
I would agree with that.
Different rates.
Yeah.
What do you think, Zack?
I think yours has a more unique flavor profile. Mine's a little bit more traditional barbecue, little sweet. I do like that the bark was all the way around, gave it a little bit of a better mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the bark.
Yeah, I think the Asian flavors was good. I got a little 5 spice out of that. I got some of the spices that I put in there on the rub, and then also the Asian barbecue sauce I thought was good. Yours are like, I would agree with you that this Zack's would have been good, nice big chunks. You could have that on the side, serve it as a meal. This is probably more like, mine is probably more like an appetizer. Zack's probably more like a meal, you know. But anyway, it turned out pretty good. I think, what would you think, who edged out who, as far as the pork belly face-off goes?
I would probably say yours, just because, like I said, it was a little easier to eat. It was more like a treat. But I did like the bark, though, overall on Zack. So if you'd had more of that bark, it would have been like perfection. So,
what do you think, Zack?
Mine was better.
Well, it's a 2-to-1 vote, so I guess I win. I'm not sure what I'm going to win yet. It's probably going to have something to do with brown liquor, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.
What am I saying again? Pork belly face off? Pork belly competition?
Mile Walter.